Somebody asked me last week, she said, Alisa, I'm married to a man who has ADD and he is all over the place. He cannot manage finances. He cannot manage bills. What do I do with this situation? She has to make all of the decisions. She has to work. She has to pay all of the bills. And so here, what I'm gonna tell you, my friends, if you're in a situation where you have to handle everything, maybe your husband doesn't have ADD, maybe he's struggling with something else. Friends, we have to take responsibility for who we attract. While we're dating, this is the window for us to see. First of all, is this person a provider and protector? Will he be responsible for you and your family? But what we mainly do in life, we rush through the process. Oh, he's good looking, or he's handsome, or he's sexy. That's good enough. Let me start a relationship with him. And then when we get married, we're like, oh, wow, he has a drinking problem. He's a smoker. He's lazy. He doesn't want to work. He doesn't want to pay bills. And then we start to think, wow, what do I do now? Do you see how backwards it is? So that's why the dating process is very critical. We have to date properly. Instead of jumping in bed, we have to get to know a woman. We need to get to know a man. And only then, when we're in an exclusive, where we're already engaged or preferably married, we jump in bed. But everything in the Western society is backwards. And then we're like, oh my God, what do I do? So I get it. Now you made a mistake. What do you do now? And if you're already married, going through divorce, you're gonna suffer. Your husband obviously gonna suffer. Mostly your kids gonna suffer. And when a woman goes through divorce, she gonna be faced with 7 years of karma because she did not accept her husband's personality. And that's where feminists go, wow, I cannot stand to hear this. I get it, my friends. But you have a karma because you rushed into a marriage. You rushed into choosing this partner. And it's up to you now to pass this exam in life. Pass the exam that your husband has ADD or ADHD or he's an alcoholic or etc. If you're dating, get out of that relationship. But if you're married, it's your duty now to accept your husband. And this is where the challenges kicks in. Because we want everything, as a human beings, we want comfort. We want happiness and we want comfort. And our brain wants that. But we get only what we deserve. And people have such a hard time when I say that. Meaning, you put in the work, you grow spiritually, you grow emotionally, your happiness levels go up. Now when your happiness level goes up because you're putting the work, either meditating or doing affirmations or doing the prayer or mantra in the morning or evening daily, and as your consciousness grows, you're now putting the work to start accepting your husband or accepting your wife. In all spiritual books and writings it says, you can go through divorce, but only when you accepted your partner. But guess what, my friends? When you accepted your partner with his drinking problem or ADD or ADHD or smoking or greed or whatever that you're dealing with, because that's your exam in life, then you can go through divorce, but you would not even want to go through divorce because all of the struggles you already passed. I would like for you to understand that whatever you resist in life, whatever you are not happy in life with, that is your exam. And the exam comes by your karma. When I say that we deserve what we get, what we deserve, is that our consciousness has different layers. And so, for example, as you grow, your consciousness, let's say, was at this level, and as you spiritually go, it goes higher. Your happiness level, you can expand on your happiness level. And if your consciousness is this low, that's why you're attracting a drama in your life, because the consciousness is low. And that's why you're playing in life, oh, I'm a victim here, I'm a victim there, because you're not doing the work. You just feel like, oh, I deserve better. Consciously, that's what you think. And you're also rebelling against God himself when you think, I'm not happy, I'm miserable, I have a horrible husband, I have a terrible boss, I'm tired being a single mom. All of that complaints, you are rebelling against God. And so that's why the power in meditation is to accept your circumstances. Once you accept your circumstances, your consciousness starts to grow, your misery goes away, and your life not gonna feel like big waves of ocean, drama, more exams. They're gonna start becoming long and smooth. And if there will be waves, there'll be waves like that, meaning there's no more waves of this drama, the suffering. But to get to that point, we have to do the work. And somebody's saying, I'm single and I'm a happy man. Man and woman, when they're single, they will always be in this level. Yes, they will have less drama, but this is the happiness at this level. You will never be at this level because we need marriage in order to overcome the exams. They're difficult exams, but once you overcome those difficult exams, your happiness level at this level. So it's just an illusion that you're happy. And some people think, well, I can go sleep with whoever I want to. I'm single. When you sleep around with many women or with many men, you're degrading. You're degrading lower and lower. And some men say, well, I am not born to just be with one woman. I get that if you think biologically you can be with one cherry, let's say, it's an illusion, because only degraded men or women will think like that because they never got to know a woman. When you get to know a person, there's so many discoveries with that person that might take a lifetime and not even one lifetime. But if you think just about the genitals, yeah, maybe one will not be enough because you're just thinking about sex. But the person, it takes many years to discover a person. I've been married to my husband for 9 years. I still don't know my husband. I'm still discovering so many beautiful qualities in him, because a person, to really get to know him and our love deepened only into much deeper level after we overcome 2020. 2020 was a very hard year emotionally, spiritually for both of us. And so it's just an illusion that we cannot be with one person. Why 7 years? Please share more about this. Very good question. I will be honest with you. I don't know exactly why 7 years, because that's what spiritual books, Mahabharata, it's one of the spiritual books like Bible. It said 7 years, and other spiritual books. But I will deepen that. I will start seeing why there's 7 years. But that's typically how long karma takes to overcome the karma. But if the person doesn't repent, and if the person doesn't even understand what they did, go through divorce, was a sin, was a bad choice, they will not even overcome that karma. Karma takes 7 years to clear if the person repents, if they understand that this was a mistake. But usually in our modern society, Western society, you battle with a husband and wife, something is not working, something else is not working, divorce. We're just rushing in a very quick decision of divorce, not overcoming the difficulties. And once you overcome the difficulties, that's when the true happiness and love begins, actually. But people, 99% of the people, don't ever even get to that level because they're rushing to, I cannot stand this pain, I cannot stand this suffering, the husband causing me so much misery, or wife causing me so much misery. And typically women make a decision to go through divorce, and they rush. And the reason why they rush, because they don't have inner power, they don't have patience. And why they don't have power and patience? Because they're not doing the spiritual work. And as a human, going to work for 8 hours a day, and then being a mom, coming home, cleaning, cooking, of course you're not going to have energy and power, because as a human beings, we're running in life, we're running really fast in life. And so in order to slow down, we have to start the morning with God and not with work, how to make money and survive. So please think about that, my friends. What if he don't trust in you? I see. What if he doesn't trust you? Well, my friends, woman attracts a man who doesn't trust her is because she doesn't trust herself. Or the second reason is because a woman jumped in bed on the first, second, third, or fourth date really fast. And men will have a hard time trusting a woman, even if she's gorgeous or sexy or beautiful, because he'll think, well, she's jumped with me in bed on the third date. That's what she did in the previous relationships. And if we're going to have a hard time in life, she'll do that again. And so, again, you have to look deep inside of you and answer that question. He doesn't trust you because you're not trustworthy and you don't trust yourself, or did your relationship started with chemistry? And so that's the true reason. How can my boyfriend go so long without seeing me or checking on me? I am not sure because, my friends, I'm not a psychic reader. I don't know your situation. But if I understand correct your question, what comes in mind is that sometimes when man is focused on a career, and he wants to leave a legacy behind him or grow financially, successfully, his energy goes to work and not girlfriends and not love. Because during the 20s and sometimes even in the 30s, man is putting all his eggs in a basket by becoming provider and protector. That's biologically, that's the way they are. And so maybe that's the case with you. Why your boyfriend is not seeing you or not checking on you, because his focus is on a career. Or who knows, you chose a man, maybe he is dating someone else if you guys are not exclusive. I'm not sure. I appreciate you, but women don't make me happy. My friends, not a single woman, not a single man can make you happy. We are responsible for our happiness, but if you truly want to become happy, only God himself can make you happy when you're going to start building relationship with him. When you really authentically want to have relationship with him. And I'm leading spiritual books with my friends and girlfriends twice a month. And I see how their ideology is, they're building relationship with God. But mainly I see and I hear when they do the meditation or prayer, they come to God, give me something. Give me. Some is single, some is struggling at work, some are dealing with something else, but that's not the relationship with God, how God wants it. And I want to share an example. Rumi, for those of you who know the poet Rumi, he wrote poetry. And in his poetry, he was describing a very poor man who was walking on the street. And as he was walking, he saw a king. And he ran to King, he went down on his knees and said, King, please give me some money, please give me some money. But King looked at him and says, give me something too. And this poor man who is homeless says, what can I give you? I'm homeless, I'm poor. He said, but you cannot just ask me for money, you gotta give something to me. And this poor man looks and he has nothing on him. And all of a sudden he found this little bitty piece of bread. And he gives to the king this little bitty piece of bread. And king, in return, looked everywhere in his pockets and he found the little piece of gold. And he gave him little piece of gold. But what Rumi is trying to say in this poetry is when we come to God, we usually give me God something. But if we give ourselves fully to God, we get everything back. And the same point was in this poetry. This homeless man realized if he would have given and offered himself fully to the king could have gave him all of the money and anything he wanted. But we in life are very greedy. We're constantly seeking something from boyfriend or wife or husband or friends or relatives. And we have to get out of this mentality. We got to start giving. And most of the women who are on my TikTok, they're like, but you're working. My friends, what I'm doing right now, it's not work. It's a contribution. And for people, modern people, it's very hard to grasp that I'm making zero income and I don't need to work. I have a husband. But I am at the point in life where I'm serving God, I'm serving husband, I'm serving our son, I'm serving community, I'm serving you, my friends. And the more you serve, the more God gives you. And so please think about it. Because again, the more you want to take from someone, the more you will be empty and you will be disappointed because nobody can make you happy. Only you and your relationship with God, authentic relationship with God. Advice for second marriages when children are involved. I'm not sure how old is their children because different ages of children require different type of relationship. Now, if you are married to, let's say, a husband, and he has kids from previous marriages and marriage, and these kids have a good relationship with mother, that's wonderful. But if they don't have a good relationship with mother, then your job is to become the best version of a stepmom you can be. And if it's hard for you, then try to become at least a friend to them. Because your husband or your wife, I'm not sure who is this, man or woman is asking, is looking at you. And if you're treating children with love and kindness, all of this love and kindness is going to come to you. They're going to appreciate you, and you will benefit much more. But if you're not accepting the children from a previous marriage, you're punching the person who you married to right with the knife in the heart. And so you got to be very careful into working into the degree where you accept the children as the extension of your husband or your wife. And so if you don't do the spiritual work, of course they're going to trigger you, because you'll think, wow, how they're eating, how they're walking, how they're not helping you, they're rude, everything going to trigger you. And so it's number one duty for you to work on accepting the children. Okay, it's okay to give your boyfriend a present randomly if he has treated you really well. You can give a gift randomly to your boyfriend, but you have to get a gift. Typically, a man gives to a woman. In a dating process, a man conquers a woman. If you're giving the gifts because you're trying to please him, you're trying to be a good girl or to earn his love, it has hidden agenda. Or especially if you're giving the gift because you want him to give you the gifts back. You gotta know his language of love. But if you decide you do want to give presents to a man, it has to be better on occasion as a Christmas or birthday, but never more than $50. Because if you're buying a gift more than $50, or if it's random small gift, it's okay. But for the most part, a woman, when she buys expensive gifts, she's turning into a provider and protector, and she's driven by masculine energy. It's the biggest mistake when woman buys cars or computers or big purchases to a man, because then a man feels like, oh, she makes good money, she buys me these gifts. She's killing his desire to provide and protect. And so here you have to be very, very careful. I am doing everything, I'm serving God, I'm helping people, but I'm not attracting any guy. You see, you have this condition where I'm doing everything, I'm good here, I'm doing good here. But God, you're such a bad boy. You're not sending me a man. You see, you're negotiating with God. God knows better when you truly deserve it. Otherwise, you're again rebelling against God. You're negotiating. I don't trust you. When a woman fully trusts God, you see, God sends a woman good man when she forgets that she even needs a good man, because she's so in a community serving. She's serving in a church or in a temple or in a community of women or homeless people or homeless dogs or someone, or bringing the education. She even forgets that she needs a man because she's so happy. She's in the community. And then God sends you a man. But if you're like, oh, I'm doing everything, you're calculating, I'm good here. Oh, God, you're not good. You're not sending me a man. That means you're not even there. So consider that. Can people get married after knowing each other for less than 6 months? Yeah, people do that. They do that. However, do you know a person in less than 6 months? No, you don't. And do people do it? Yes. Can you do it? Yeah, people do that. But again, will you be able to pass the difficulty when they start occurring after the honeymoon stage passes, the physical attraction and chemistry passes? That's the question. And so that's why it's not good to get married really fast. It's better to wait at least a year to get to know a person, their negative qualities, because people get married for a good quality that they found in a woman and a man. but they don't really truly know their negative qualities. And once you get to know their negative qualities, and you can live with this person because they're stubborn, because they're greedy, because they're lazy, or because they're a smoker or a drinker or something else, then yes, you're ready for this marriage and to be with this person. So that's why rushing is usually not good. But once you're already married, then do the work. Once you find the negative quality of the person, to do everything to accept it. But because most of the time women, we get married and we start working, changing a husband, changing a boyfriend, changing and changing. Typically neurotics are doing that because they can't accept themselves. They're working and putting all of their attention on changing somebody. Please stop doing that. Your goal is to work on yourself and accepting yourself and becoming a better person. Stop changing your partner. Your job is to accept them. Once you accept them, you will be influencing them to become a better person. But again, stop poking, especially men. You gotta be like that. You gotta be like that. Appreciate them for the qualities that they have and continue doing the spiritual work to accept them. My wife doesn't work, but she doesn't clean, cook, nothing. She gets mad when I tell her something. You see, and that is your karma. She doesn't work, but you require, or you have this hidden agenda that she must cook, she must clean. You see, you dated her and didn't realize that she doesn't like to cook and she doesn't like to clean. And that's a problem. You see, you did not date her long enough and now you don't like this. And so you gotta surrender and accept that she doesn't like to cook and she doesn't like to clean. That means she's not in tune with her feminine energy. A woman likes to cook, a woman likes to clean, a woman likes to stay with children and raise them when she's feminine. But to become a feminine in the modern society where we're surrounded by feminists, women, it's very hard, very hard. I saw a TikToker a few weeks ago. He said, I told my wife to stay home. I told her to quit job, to raise our kids, to start cooking and cleaning. She refuses to do it. I'm divorcing her. That's the biggest mistake. You cannot ask from a wife to change overnight. The changes happens between 6 months to 2 years, and it's gradual changes. My friends, yes, I am teaching our son. I'm staying home, I'm cooking and I'm cleaning and I'm contributing to you. But I am at this point doing 2 hours work in the morning, meditating to God, praying and doing the mantra. But most of the people in our modern society don't live like that. And so don't expect a woman to cook and clean because you married to a feminist probably, or a woman with a lot of masculine energy. Give her some time. Start working on yourself, on accepting her the way she is. And once you accept her that she doesn't like to cook and clean, she's gonna connect to her consciousness. And woman connects to her consciousness once you treat her with kindness. And so that's what you need to overcome. And I know it's very hard because you feel like you're providing, you're protecting, you're giving her all of this space for her to just to cook and clean. How hard is that? You gotta do a little bit more. Be with kindness, accept her the way she is, and she's gonna connect to her consciousness. I am so depressed. The reason why people are depressed, when I see people who are lethargic, depressed, not happy, I'm gonna be honest with you. When I start talking to them, and as a clinical hypnotherapist and counselor and life coach, I worked for 19 years. As soon as depressed people will come to my session, I would see right away that they're way too concentrated on themselves. If they're living in their thoughts, I don't have a good boyfriend, I'm single, I am this, don't have a nice apartment, I'm not making enough money, and they're just dwelling in their negativity in their head. The more they think like that, the more they become depressed. The fastest way to get out of the depression is start getting in the community and helping people. Start feeding homeless people. Don't give them money. Feed them. Go in a shelter. Start helping animals. Go into foster care. See how kids live in the foster care without parents. Start serving the community. Get out of your head how miserable you are. See what people are really dealing with. Go to the cancer center. Look at the hospitals with children with cancers. And then you're going to come to very quick realization and reality that wow, my problems compared to their problems is nothing. And so get out of your head. Start doing the spiritual work and start serving the community. Too much victim mentality, you're going to just continue digging the hole in the ground. That's what I would recommend to you. I'm a dentist. Show your teeth. Awesome. No, these are my real teeth. I get a lot of compliments on my teeth, so I appreciate that. I live in my parents' house and I've been hard. I lived in my parents' house and it's been hard. My husband works full-time. Should I get part-time job? I don't understand. Why would you need to get a part-time job? In order to help your husband? My friends, if you ever think that you need to work in order to help your husband, you're doing disservice. And I want you to think of it from this point. One time my client, she said, Alisa, my son last week had an accident, a motorcycle accident, and he is in a coma in the hospital. And I was doing a group therapy for 2 weeks, and she was part of this group therapy. And she said, I'm going to decline, but I'm not going to continue group therapy. I said, okay, you can do that. But are you really helping your son be sitting next to him, exhausted? You did not sleep, you didn't eat for days, and you're just sitting there. No, she's not helping him. If she would be there praying, at least in his room, she would have been making a difference for her son, who is in a coma and had 20-something broken ribs. I said, you have a choice. Either you're going to start praying in his room and doing the active work helping your son, or you're going to come to group therapy where you're going to start helping yourself and overcoming this serious trauma that your family is dealing with. A woman needs to be really emotionally and spiritually strong. Man is physically strong, but emotionally and spiritually, a woman is stronger. And when a woman is happy and she's spiritually, her consciousness is high, she is impacting her entire family, her children and her husband. She impacts her children by 20%, even if children are not spiritual at all and don't believe in God. And she impacts her husband by 15%. That's a lot. If a woman is impacting the husband by 15%, she can even help him to stop drinking. If a woman does work, when a husband's job goes down, right now, whole months, they're dealing with bad economy. I look at it as if I am responsible for it. I'm doing more prayer, I'm doing more meditation, and then I know it's just a matter of weeks when my husband gonna come home and says everything is fine. Even though 99% of the time he doesn't share what's going on in his work. But I hear here and there. And so what I'm trying to say, the real help you're doing to a husband is by doing the meditation, doing the spiritual work. And not like check mark, I'm going to church and pray there for 30 minutes or listen to a pastor. No, we got to do it on a daily basis, building the relationship with God and not the intellectual check work. And then you're truly helping. But you're going to work and giving him $300 here, $200 here, $500 there. You're sending him a message that I don't believe in you, that you're a provider and protector, and you can figure it out and figure out how we're going to live and how we're going to pay for our rent or etc. So I hope that answers the questions. Don't look at your man that he is a loser. But if you're going to work, subconsciously you're sending this message to yourself and to him that I don't trust you, that you will provide and you will protect. When should he introduce us to his parents? In 3 months, it's too early. No, once a man is really serious about a woman, he can introduce her to her parents in 2 or 3 months or 4 months. It doesn't matter. But you have to look at the man. If your man is 25 years old and he is working hypothetically, making only $30,000 a year in a basic job, he's not going to be thinking about marriage because he thinks about how can I climb the ladder. But if he's already financially set and if he sees that you're a good woman, you're not sleeping around, you know how to, you have the foundation, you have principles in life, and he takes you to his parents in 3-4 months, it's the biggest compliment to you as a woman. So stop calculating when and how. You become a feminine woman with principles, high value woman. He will introduce you to his parents really fast. But again, it also depends on men. Right now, a lot of American men in Canada and in the West, they're scared of women because of this feminism kills their trust in women. And so therefore you have to overcome this fear in men. And how you can overcome this fear is becoming a woman with principles, a woman who is feminine. And then men will overcome this fear that you could be this woman who will divorce him in 2-3 years and take everything, 50% of him. Of course, men who is really provider protected don't have this fear. But to attract this man like that, that means you gotta be such an extraordinary, feminine, loyal, and amazing woman that you can even attract men like that, because they're rare nowadays. They are.